It's that time of the year again, when NBA players need to adapt to the international FIBA rules. In this video, I will explain 10 major differences between the NBA and the FIBA rule sets. So if you are preparing for the Olympics as seriously as Zach LaVine,
Wait, first step and then the ball on the dribble.
What about crossover steps? So say you're facing up again.
you've come to the right place. Difference number 1. Court size. The size of an NBA court is 94 by 50 feet, or 28.65 by 15.24 meters. Meanwhile, the size of a FIBA court is 91 feet 10 inches by 49 feet 2.5 inches, or 28 by 15 meters. So, the FIBA court is a bit smaller than the NBA's. Difference number 2. Three-point range. Along with the larger court, the NBA three-point line is further from the basket, 23 feet 9 inches, or 7.24 meters away. The distance becomes shorter if you shoot from the corner, 22 feet or 6.7 meters. Meanwhile, according to FIBA, the three-point line has the same distance from every single angle, and is measured at a little over 22 feet, or 6.75 meters. Difference number 3. Duration of game. Every quarter in the NBA lasts 12 minutes, while each one in FIBA's competition is 10 minutes long. Overtimes last 5 minutes in both competitions. Difference number 4. Timeouts. In the NBA, teams each have 7 timeouts during regulation. Each squad is limited to no more than 4 timeouts in the fourth quarter, and 2 timeouts per team after the 3-minute mark of the fourth period. In overtime, each team is allowed 2 timeouts. Also, coaches aren't the only ones who can call timeouts in the NBA. This can also be done by players that have possession of the ball. In FIBA basketball, the timeout rules are a bit more straightforward. Each team can use 2 timeouts during the first half and 3 timeouts during the second. They are limited to 2 timeouts with 2 minutes or less remaining in the fourth quarter and overtime periods. Difference number 5. Fouls. Personal foul limit in the NBA is 6, while FIBA grants only 5 personal fouls. There are technical fouls in both rule sets. However, technical fouls are not considered personal fouls in the NBA, while in FIBA, they are. Flagrant 1 and Flagrant 2 fouls do not exist in FIBA. Instead, there are unsportsmanlike fouls. These are basically Flagrant 1 fouls, and are charged for excessive contact. However, they are also charged in clear path situations and instances where a defensive player does not go for the ball. For example, wraparound fouls that are considered personal fouls in the NBA will be regarded as unsportsmanlike fouls in FIBA. Just like flagrant fouls, unsportsmanlike fouls will mean 2 shots at the line and a return of possession. In FIBA, there are disqualifying fouls that work similarly to flagrant 2 fouls. If a player is called for 2 unsportsmanlike fouls, or 1 unsportsmanlike foul and 1 technical foul, they are thrown out of the game. Difference number 6. Basket interference. In both rule sets, goaltending is called when a player blocks a shot after it hits the backboard. However, in the NBA, players cannot touch the ball when it is above the basket ring and within the imaginary cylinder. In FIBA, players are allowed to touch the ball after it hits the rim, and there is no possibility for the ball to go in the basket, even if the ball is within the cylinder above the rim. Players can also tip the ball in, even if it's still in the cylinder area. Difference number 7. Jump ball situations. The game begins with a jump ball both in FIBA and the NBA. However, the FIBA rules state that if there's a jump ball situation during the game, players will not actually jump for the ball to gain possession. Instead, possession will be awarded to the team that did not start the quarter with the basketball. Difference number 8. Review of play. There is no coach's challenge in the FIBA game. While fouls can be reviewed to determine if they were personal, unsportsmanlike, or disqualifying, they cannot be cancelled. Also, FIBA referees tend to take less time reviewing plays compared to the NBA. Difference number 9. Defensive 3-second violation. In the NBA, there are both offensive and defensive 3-second rules. Meanwhile, in the FIBA world, there is only an offensive 3-second violation. This means that on defense, players can stay in the paint for as long as they like. Difference number 10. Traveling violation. This is perhaps the biggest difference between the NBA and FIBA rules. In the NBA, after a player catches the ball, he can immediately take a step before putting the ball on the floor. According to the FIBA rules, unless they are pivoting in place, the players must put the ball on the floor before taking any step. They may also take a step and dribble the ball at the same time. However, if a player with the ball takes a step before putting the basketball on the floor, it is considered traveling. Let us know in the comments what you think about these rule differences. Do you think the NBA could adapt any of FIBA's rules and vice versa? If you like this video, subscribe to the Basket News channel for much more basketball content, and we'll see you in the next